Hey, hey. How's it going, y'all? Welcome. Is my light going out? Forgive me for being late. One of my roommates had just come in right when I was showered and making a bunch of noise, so I decided to wait for her to finish. So here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 33 of Get Paid with Creative Nomad. Today we're talking about association, and I hope everyone is well. Welcome, welcome. I'll be so happy when I get an intro and all that fancy shit. But for now, your girl is here. I did my makeup today. So y'all get, ooh, Bridget, don't fall. Y'all know Bridget is my little business partner, and so she back there and she helped hold up the green screen. I killed me. Anyway, today, I think today is a good day to be light because when talking about association, it's good to just, you know, be lighthearted about it, but it is serious. So, what I have for association is um, it really comes down to, well, not really comes down. One of the things is what and who impacts you, who we associate with, the things that we associate ourselves with, our businesses, our brand. My light, why are you tripping? It could be the battery. I need to change my batteries. Anyway, forgive me for getting distracted and breaking my own thought. But it all can really impact us, right? Our brand, our business, our company. Association really is huge. I know being young, being like a 90s teen and young adult, growing up in the 80s, reputation was everything. And I remember I was so, being the youngest and the only girl, I was very cautious about who I associated myself with. You know, I had street brothers, pimp, boxer, hustler, womanizers. And when I say womanizers, I mean my one brother just used to just run through women and just, use them for what they would do for him and shit like that. So this is what I saw. So I definitely, and they made sure I was not that type of girl. So I remember a few times there would be a guy on the block that I would like, and I'm talking about a young teen. And I would not, when he showed interest in me, I would not even fuck with him at all because I didn't want a bad reputation. I was cautious of who I associated myself with. It's like association and what we used at the time, what we called at the time reputation, was everything to me. The girls that was hoes and strawberries and loose booties, baby, I didn't fuck with them. And that is why to this day, I never had a desire to live in Atlanta. Like I had homegirls, we were 15, 16. We all worked, but how they chose to spend their money is to go to Freaknik. And I didn't want to associate myself with that at all. So I was good. No judgment, a little bit I did, I'm sure I did, but they were still my girls. I didn't care, but I was like, that's not me. I don't, not the freaking and the nicking, but just in Atlanta, the down low, and back in the 90s, like their AIDS record was high, and I didn't want to associate myself with any of that. So bringing it, fast forward, bringing it to current times in 2020, talking about our own personal brand, who feeds us, what information, we listen to, how it impacts us. Do we associate ourselves with bad news? Do we look at building our brand around scary bad news situations? You know what I'm saying? Around the worst of what can happen. And is that really us, or is it just this is what we surround ourselves with. So this is what we hear all the time. This is, we maybe go to lunch with these negative ass coworkers that are always talking a bunch of bullshit and negative, gray, rainy days, instead of going to lunch by yourself, listening to a positive podcast or watching one of our previous episodes. You know what I'm saying? Just feeding yourself high vibrations, associating with things and people and energies that uplift you, not that discourage you and bring you down. And indirectly is the worst kind of way. You don't want to, and I don't mean to say it like demanding, like you have to, but baby, why would you want to associate yourself with things, people, energies that bring you down? It just, you don't have to. So it would behoove you to choose not to, is all I'm trying to say. Association really, really, really can make or break you. Let's go ahead and segue into the next one. Association can really make or break you, your personal brand, your business, your integrity, everything about you, who you associate with. Again, taking it back to social settings, I have not been interested in meeting people and being caught seen around certain people because I don't want to be confused or guilted by association. We've all heard that. Hey, hey, I'm seeing the comments. Come on now, don't play. Hey, Miss Candace. Hey, Miss Alexis. What's up? Yes, I have my brand face on today. Thank you. Oh my God. And I had a genius idea. Okay, so now pause. Let's pause right quick on association. Well, no, we're not pausing. This is a good one. And this is again about association. You guys know I'm into self development. I have a lot of cyber mentors that I listen to, right? And so today, a couple of hours ago, I came up to really just get myself together before I started getting my makeup for the show. And I was standing. I decided not to sit down. And I don't know why. It wasn't until after the fact. And I'll tell you. So I was standing and I had this genius fucking idea about, my company, specifically with the lashes. Okay, so you guys are the first to know. This is my first time saying it out loud and publicly. So I'm going to rebrand my lashes. So I was just standing and I'm thinking, and I talk out loud to myself. When I'm putting myself in check or working shit out, I talk out loud. I've said that before. So I'm talking out loud. The room was empty. So I'm talking out loud, and this idea come to me. My book was open. It's actually this here, so I started writing it down. Think on paper, think on paper, and I said that as I got my pen and I started writing it down. So then I was like, I remember when I was listening to one of my cyber mentors that said, and I don't even remember who, Robert Kiyosaki, but if I don't even fucking know who, Bob Proctor, I have no idea who it was. But they said to think standing up. It could have been Napoleon Hill and Think or Grow Rich. I have no idea. But think standing up. Or maybe somebody was asked, maybe it was a story they told. Somebody asked why, I don't know what it was, but as I started writing this down, I'm thinking, oh, the universe kept me standing up. Oh, okay, so that these ideas can come, and it's fucking genius. It's absolutely a genius idea, you guys. So again, association. Had I not been on my lifetime journey of self development, had I not tried to take, or not tried, had I not ventured on the path of being an entrepreneur, molding and learning how to shape that into becoming a healthy capitalist and build wealth, I never would have found whoever that was that said, think on paper, think standing up. If you have an idea, brainstorm standing up. Different things like this. Association. I probably would have been, who fucking knows? Who knows? Who knows? Because I've never been a huge TV watcher, but I did used to watch movies. I like action movies, so I probably would have just been watching Expendables. Watching other people fucking live out their dreams. Association, you guys, again, will make or break you. You see how, if for me, I don't keep a mirror in my face to constantly reflect and put myself in check, and if I don't surround myself and fill my ears with people that encourage that encourage me to do that, who do that themselves, and who have the sleep well payoff, the karmic payoff, the financial payoff, you know what I mean? From doing that, from living like that, from, instead of blaming, constantly looking inward to see how I can be better, who can I better associate myself with that looks like how I'm trying to be, for me. So it's like association is key from, and I knew that even as a kid because, like I say, reputation was everything, baby. Even if you hung out with somebody bummy. Okay, we talking about the 80s and the 90s, baby. Even if you hung out with somebody bummy, especially if we knew you wasn't bummy, or if you wasn't bummy, like we questioned, I don't know, maybe your mental stability. Like, why are you hanging out with somebody bummy? Or, and I'm not saying like me personally, I'm talking about the overall vibe of us being kids in the 80s and 90s. This is what I'm giving you, the temperature of how we grew up, knowing the importance of association. We called it reputation, right? So it's like that is everything. It can make or break you. Uh-huh. Yep. Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what I was doing. That's exactly what I was doing, Candice. When the ideas start to flow, yeah, I stopped and I stood, grabbed my pen and paper, and yep, I was pacing, walking around the room like, let's get this together. What's happening? And it was really started off with me. And actually, Candice, this is what I said. This is just as much for me because when we brainstorm, when you ask me questions, when anyone, even when my daddy, who I call my mentor, would ask me questions, like not so much anymore, but if I ask a question and he asks a question back, but anything, um, it gets me to thinking. It really keeps me motivated. It helps me to keep going, really. And it helps me to think about, okay, what I need to do. Am I doing enough? I know I'm doing a lot, but you can do more. You really can do more. So it just, association is everything. And I created what I need to bring who I needed around me. Um, it's one thing I used to say, and again, it really is all relative to association, but anywhere from even the 90s, aka pre-internet. When I would move, well, the first time I moved back home, right? Because I was an adult then. The first time I moved back home in, I think, 98, what I did, because I didn't know St. Louis anymore. Yes, I would go back. I hadn't been back home at that time in maybe 3 or 4 years. And they're changing the city fast. And that's all over. Gentrification, changing highways, upgrading the city, shit like that. So I didn't know St. Louis. And I had never driven in St. Louis because I was moved away as a kid. And I want to say when I was pregnant with my son and my daughter was 1, was the last time I moved back home. and my son was born in 1993, so 5 years before. All right, I think I needed that for me. So, um, and we're talking about association. Oh, so when I moved back home, what I would do is, back then we didn't. Our social media was the local paper. I don't remember what it's called in St. Louis. In Minnesota, it's called the City Pages, and it's usually just a thin paper. It has all the entertainment. There's a classified section in there. I believe there's maybe a small obituary, RIP section in there, and there's a dating section. And you can post an ad, like a meet me section. So I would post an ad in those local papers to meet people, my personal tour guides, right? So I'm meeting people that would show me around the city, get me to know, right? I'm cautious of who I'm associating with. Also, I wouldn't just go with anybody because my goal is to relearn my way around my home city. It's changed since being a little girl, and then every time I come back home, I'm being driven around because I'm a minor, right? So, or I'm taking the bus because I'm a minor, and we were active, so we hung out. We took the bus, baby. It was no problem, but we were all over that mofo. So anyway, going back as an adult was a bit different. So I needed to associate myself with people that can let me know where the jobs are, that can show me around the city. Where's the entertainment? Where's this? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Right? Association. And it was to my benefit. And because it did work out so well for me, I just kept utilizing that. So when I moved back home, to Minnesota, I did the same thing. Boom. By this time, there was internet and shit like that. So, but still, I brought the city to me. I would bring the places to me, and I would be cautious of who I associated with. So this is all in the realm of talking about association can, build or destroy you. It can build you or break you. And we really want to be cautious even when just building our own personal brand, whether you have kids, if you don't have kids, no matter what it is, you live on your own, you're building a business, you're building a company, you work for a prestigious company that you actually like working for. This, is your dream position, your dream career, right? At that point, we're talking about things like being smart with our finances, right? If you're not on the path of being an owner, but you want to be a high roller, okay? You want to be a high roller, a high player, um, then we're talking about um, building our finances, understanding how to invest our finances, understanding how to save our finances, how to spend our finances. We can't live in this world without spending, but understanding how to direct our finances and how to recycle our money and where to recycle our money. It's still under the get paid. It's still under the P.A.I.D. All of these building blocks can still be implemented to learn about your finances because it still comes to inward. Why do you like to spend beyond your and this is a general question, not necessarily anybody watching, but maybe this is something that you can pass along to someone that you know. But why do some people like to spend beyond their means, right? Why do some people's um, outgoing cash far exceed their incoming cash? Who is it they're trying to impress or live for, right? Who is it that has such a big impact on their decisions and their judgment that they are doing things that cause them to live hand to mouth, cause them to constantly live um, in the hole, and everything is a struggle to get out of the hole, or you just become comfortable in the fucking hole. You just like, fuck it. I just want to, live like a baller. And you're really not, it's like, who are people doing that for? And if if you are disciplined enough and have been disciplined enough to work yourself up to a position of um, relevance in a company, and I won't say relevance, a high position in a company, because I think the smaller the position, the more relevant it becomes, because you're now becoming direct contact to the people who are actually funding that company, who is the consumer. But higher paying, more prestige position in the company, then that means you already have some level of discipline. You may or may not have some integrity. It depends on the company you work for, and et cetera, et cetera. But ideally, if you're on this channel, you have some level of integrity, and you already have what it takes to get to that level. So it's still all relevant, pretty much, is my long-winded version of what I'm trying to say. It's all relevant. So beyond association being what can build or break you, and how it impacts you, what else do I have? Oh, I think I kind of spoke about that already. Business and personal. Knowing, I guess, knowing how to separate your business associations from your personal associations, or knowing how to intermix them, intertwine them, knowing how to build a business association. Now, these are all, when it comes to the business associations, that was a part of my pacing earlier. This is something I'm thinking, how can I, again, when the topic came this morning, I was like, I need this. Business association is something that I absolutely, it's right here. It's something that I absolutely am now more directly focused on building. So I really have to be cautious about who I select as my brand ambassadors, especially now that I'm rebranding. So I need people that are able to be the visual of the Createve Nomad brand, because they believe in it, because they live it in their own way, not in my way. They can't beat me. I am the one and original Createve Nomad. But if that is who they are and they resonate with in their own way, and they're like, oh, them mofos are dope, and it's a part of their own being anyway. Like, it wouldn't be a far stretch for me to be, actually it would before now, because as you guys may know, I do wear glasses, but they broke. You guys may know about that too from my mishap in Arizona. I still don't fully know what the fuck happened, but I ended up without my glasses, so I took advantage of that. So speaking from this going forward, it would not be a stretch for me to be, well, at this point, because I'm a business owner of it, but y'all get what I'm trying to say if I stop interrupting myself, to be a brand ambassador for a great lash company. So, when I say it wouldn't be a far stretch, I wear lashes all the time. It would be like, oh, that would be my pleasure. I would love to. And especially if it's put together how I'm trying to put together. So the business association for me, oh, I saw a comment come in. Uh-huh. Yes. And that's exactly why this morning I knew it was going to be good for me, because that I do too. I think especially on um, my social media, and I probably should be a little more apologetic about it. And I think learn how to. This is why I need a PR person. I know I'm going to need a PR person, a manager, a whole fucking team, because I need someone to less emotionally articulate my stance and my point on social issues. Because for me, in my own words, I don't want my brand, um, I don't want people to associate my brand with anything negative, especially when I'm speaking out against social and racial injustices. I don't want my brand to have that sour associated with it. So the business association, yeah, for me, it's something that from absolutely this moment forward, because it's in the forefront, is something that I'm going to be working on more diligently and more cautiously. And I know that what's today, Tuesday? From I say the latter part of last week through the weekend till now, I know that I have been working on it. I have been cognizant of it because it is something relevant to me now. Always has been, but I think I'm more sharpened. My senses are more heightened to it because I do feel like I'm getting more serious in the owner game, because I have to be. For me, the disconnect is not having a brick and mortar and not having like daily clients. And then this morning, I really put together what the disconnect in that is. And then this afternoon, when I was doing my little pacing, it started to come together because I always ask the question of how can I never stunt any of my growth by that little you shit saying I can't or I don't. Never. It's always how can I usually again talk to myself out loud, but when I'm requesting infinite intelligence send me the answer, the direction, a way of solving a problem or something, my own fucking problem, it's always a how can I. It's always a open and never a close, right? So the business association for me, it's something I know I have to get better at because I'm more focused. Like I got 6 months to make the rest of my shit happen for this year. What and I'm just giving it 6 months now, especially since Corona come in. So, my 12-month goal, right? 6 months left on my 12-month goal. And it's really time to get back into go time. Corona amped me up a lot, but the last what ha- May, yeah, the last month, I felt myself losing a lot of steam, a lot of motivation. I lacked a lot of self encouragement the latter part of May. And just even looking at my schedule, and that's why I was so proud of myself Sunday for getting all of the shows pre scheduled. And I also noticed that my association changed. I was more involved in the house and people in the house versus having my headphones in, my daily either Think and Grow Rich or my daily morning ritual of the richest man in Babylon. And I noticed the month of that is what changed. So that shit goes back again. I noticed once that association switched, it started to it affect not started to it affected my performance. It affected my performance. It affected my get up out the bed and get my shit done at 4 a.m. I still get up at 4, but I just do little send out posts and searching social media, and then I'll do little trivial piss bullshit. And it's the association. The fact that I got my motivation out of my ears and allowed myself to get involved in the house. And when I say involved, I mean to I still do little stuff, but I'm not I hadn't been. Let me not keep that relevant. I hadn't been performing how I had been performing. So I do recognize greatly how. Please don't end my live. If anyone is still on here or when you come back on here, can you just say hi? I want to make sure I'm still live. Um, that was my cousin calling me from St. Louis. Um, what was I saying? But yeah, we really want to get those strengthen the business associations. Also strengthen. That's definitely what I want to do, and make sure I'm sending out a good message from my business. Make sure I'm sending out a good message to my current and future customer base, to my target customer base, just in the brand that I'm building, to my um, potential customers, potential, what's the word I'm looking for? Teammates, team members, business partners, just, you know what I mean? Employees. I just want to make sure I am sending out a good message and a clear message of what I represent and my brand represents and what we stand for first and foremost as far as humanity. And that's really the core, of my everything. I really want my brand and my sharing myself and every series that I do, and anytime I talk to someone, I really want the point of, no matter what, just really, really dig down in yourself and pull that shit out, whatever that shit is. Just never, no matter what, you be the last fucking one, and let that be the never one that gives up on yourself. Never, ever. Just constantly go for it. Look within constantly. And once you really have defined your purpose, you'll associating yourselves in the right way and with the right people will be easy. Hi there. Absolutely. Absolutely. You show right up. You show never ever. Never ever. No matter who says what. And that is really um a huge feat. An association really is a big chunk of that. Because, like I said, I saw my production go down when my association changed in the last few weeks, when I got my mentors out of my head on the daily, right? And it's just like, this shit's gotta, no. I got big shit to do. You know what I mean? So I have to stay on top of what is feeding me, what is keeping me going. It can't be the shit around me. Because at this point, honestly, I don't want to, and not for fear or any type of that type of low ass vibration. Hell no. But I don't want to put myself in that outside world, so I have to do everything I can, including being patient and trusting this process. For me, it's really about making sure I keep grinding it out, making sure I keep creating, making shit, making sure I take the steps in getting the things I need done as I build what I need to build. You know what I mean? And it's just a process that I have to trust. But the key of it is association. Who am I? Am I just sitting down? Little things like this. When I sit down there and cook now, well, unlike this evening when I go down there and eat, I bet you best believe I'm gonna be right back where I used to be. Now that it's, I'm putting myself in check about it. But like yesterday and before then, I would just sit down there, and so I'm hearing, even though I'm ignoring and not a part of it, sometimes I get a part of some of them, and I may dip in and out, but I'm still not closed off to these conversations that really are relevant to me. And really, I don't need this sinking into my subconscious. Really, I don't even need to be hearing this stuff. Really, this has nothing to do with getting me where I'm trying to go. And that's why when I moved into this house and the other house, and when I hit the ground in California, I've been in focused tunnel vision mode. And after this corona, although I still be doing, and I also had to reflect over it when I cut the week off, because although I know that I'm behind, I needed to reflect on why and where I've been losing steam. And that's what I did, to be totally transparent with you guys and just keeping it 1000. That's why I had to cut the week short, because I started noticing that I'm not on point like I was. And I was sitting reflect on what I used to do. And I'm talking about just when did quarantine start? Like just recently. And association is exactly, that's why this morning when I looked at the topic again, I was like, I need that. I need that, because I've allowed myself to become a part of the fucking woodwork in this house, and my ears are open to this dumb shit, and I'm being affected by it, and my work is being affected by it. And ultimately, the growth of what I'm working to build has been affected by it in these few weeks. And that shit ends as soon as it's already ended. It's already ended. But the re-implementation of the shit that I should be doing and had been doing even just 3, 4 weeks ago is going back into place, because it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for me to just disassociate myself from what's benefiting me. That's unacceptable. This scale cannot accept it from this scale, neither can this scale accept it from this scale. So both scales are going to have to get this shit back together. Period. I refuse to die unless I die in my next breath living a mediocre life. Period. I refuse to die not living out what I want to do. Period. I refuse to die not having a positive, great, loving, caring, genuine impact on other human beings who are fucking giving their best effort, or at least are craving, trying, just want to know how, just don't even know where, you know what I mean? I refuse to die in mediocrity, baby. I refuse to die just watching, sitting back doing nothing, watching somebody else build their fucking dream life, and I find entertainment in that. That's unacceptable. Who I associate myself with is vital to what I'm trying to build. Who I choose to not associate myself with is just as vital to what I'm trying to build. So I have to really, really, really be mindful 24/7, 365 of that. And I have to be willing to do what I do constantly and have been doing all my life. put myself in check when I feel myself going off the rails. I have to, because I'm used to being disciplined. So anytime I get undisciplined, I fucking check myself, because I wasn't raised to be undisciplined and unstructured. I wasn't brought up that way. Even in St. Louis, that is who my family is. That's just how they are. They may not be rich, but they're disciplined and structured. They just don't see themselves as greater, but they see themselves as being great for who they are, if that makes sense. So anytime I recognize when I get off my fucking square, you know what I mean? And I put myself in check, and I feel like if I had never been comfortable with that, I wouldn't even be here right now. I wouldn't even be here. I started doing that at such a young age because I require more of myself. And all throughout that time, it really was self development, because when I moved to Minnesota, I became the innocent defender. Like, I was the bully beater upper. Because in St. Louis, like, I wasn't, we got whooped for starting shit. I wasn't a shit starter, so I didn't get whooped for starting shit, but we got threatened, don't be out there starting no shit or I'm gonna beat your ass. To any of my white followers, we weren't abused or anything like that. Come on now, y'all know we don't abuse our kids, but that's how they keep from abusing us. They talk to us, so threatening. If you don't sit your ass down and quit running in and out my house. So then we learn to stop running in and out of the goddamn door, because one of them times when you come in, you're going to be stuck inside. And now I got to use the bathroom. That shit don't work, because they know better. Because of association, right? Our patterns prove that we was just on some bullshit, trying to be nosy or trying to catch this little bit of AC because it's 100 in hell outside. Okay. And so anyway, it's just like, you know, it, it I it's not about, I wasn't a shit starter, and I don't believe in that. But I was the defender of the innocent. That's just how I was brought up to be. So for me, I feel like I had to, I had to, I had to do it. I had to be the one to do it, because I have to be the one sitting here right now doing this, because I have to be the one to create everything that I'm creating right now. So this was all something that when I was shifted from a brown world to a more white and mixed world, and I don't mean mixed as in biracial, I mean mixed as in a mixed group of people, but more white skinned, light skinned people. Even the people of color, were Asians of all over, Laos, Vietnamese, Hmong, you know what I mean, Russians. So that's what I mean when I say mixed, but still white. And for me, I just felt like my purpose was defined a long time ago, because that satisfied me, to have people appreciate me defending them, because I was ripped away from the people that defended me, or I never truly had anyone that was around looking when I didn't know it, when someone was messing with me, or whatever the case may be. And that's who I found myself being when I moved to Minnesota, and then growing up, and then as a little girl, constantly, encouraging people and wiping tears and things like that. Like, it made me feel so magnificent to see how I can make this other human being feel at peace again, and feel tranquil again, and feel like they can do some shit again, It was never, honestly, it is now. That's why I say now I'm coming for my bag. But it was never about, I never wanted to be rich. I wanted to live how I wanted to live. I'm a Libra. We have exquisite taste. I love nice things. I'm a simple woman. I don't like um gaudy, extravagant. I don't like gaudy things. I like extravagant things, but I like, beautiful, elegant, extravagant things. I like luxurious, no matter what it is, right? So I like that. But for me, it was never a drive of, I want to be rich. It was, I remember the very first time as a young teen when a couple of my friends told me, you should be a counselor, you should be a therapist. I was like, and I was anywhere from 13 to 15. I'm just thinking about where we lived at the time. So when we moved, which's apartment I actually found, but when we moved there, I was 13. So it was during the time when we lived in this particular place. And I was like, I remember me and my friends were walking down Lake Street and we're just talking, just casual shit, our normal shit. And they said that to me. So this was, like you guys have heard me say, I started my, really, when I looked in the mirror this day, because I really thought I was cute. I had on a crisp white shirt and some dark blue jeans. I remember everything about it. Like I was too cute. And that's when I really got in the mirror, and that's when I started my focused life of self development, right? So by then, that's when, from hearing that, I'm like, okay, let me start looking into who I am as far as the zodiac. And with Libras, that is a natural part of who we are because we're Libras. So it says we are natural mediators, counselors, things like that, as far as, career paths and just who we are naturally. No, I never thought about it, but I understood why they said it. I understood why they associated me with helping people in that way because that really is naturally who I am. And that's all I wanted to do in every way, in everything that I do. I wanted to be for that. When I was in fashion design school, I specifically wanted to focus, although I'm not plus size, and I didn't call it plus size. I called it real women, and not real women necessarily being plus size or BBW or, whatever. God forbid I say fat, but whatever, because that's relative. BBW is relative. Plus size is relative to who's categorizing it, and then as far as self, how we feel about ourselves. So I wanted to dress real women. I wanted my brand to be for real women who had real curves, period. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, that was my focus. I wanted it to be beautiful, edgy. My style has always been risque, and I've always been like, women have to be whatever their body type. I like women who are comfortable in that body type and specifically and deliberately accept or work for that body type. And when I say work for, I mean if it's to maintain this tight BBW, like my aunt who was raising me, she was a bigger woman, but she was tight. She wasn't flabby and she didn't have loose stomach or anything like that. She wasn't an Amazon, and everyone pictures something different when we say Amazon. So you could picture whatever you want. But she wasn't an Amazon. She was, a big woman. People would say fat, but she wasn't sloppy. She wasn't flabby. If you guys understand what I'm saying, she wasn't like that. So even if that or whatever it may be, you're comfortable in who you are. So you want to maintain that by being active or whatever. You like being bigger and you like being tight. You like that your arm doesn't wave and you like, that you're not sitting in between your stomach. That's cool. I want to dress those women. There may be, some cutouts on the side or some sheer shit happening. But if you're comfortable with who you are, you will rock this shit and people will have a positive association with my brand because I don't discriminate against body type. I don't discriminate against height, weight, color, even fucking gender. I want my shit to be gender neutral. Like for real. I want to see anybody comfortable in who they are rocking my shit. I want to see anybody who likes the beautiful creations that I make to purchase my shit. I want to see anybody, male or female, trans, whoever, who like a good beat face or a good bare face with some nice ass lashes that happen to be real mink animal. That's who I want to purchase. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to constantly be associated with humanity, period. That's all I have ever been about. And I would like to live the life that I like, that I am choosing for myself, which is not cookie cutter. I would like to live that lifestyle while I'm doing it, because that's what brings me joy. I like to create. And if I create something, if someone asks me to create something custom, if somebody just calls me from wherever or just has a question, or if one of my girlfriends want my opinion on whether or not she should address certain issue, that shit means a lot to me. That is what I'm here for. Do you know how many of us don't have someone like that, period? You know what I mean? This is why I'm like, I can't disassociate from my cyber mentors. I cannot disconnect from them. I just saw what happens when I do. And because I don't have a replacement for them around me physically, it will it will tear my business down. It will tear my brand down before I even fucking get it known in 100 households. Okay? If I disassociate myself from what uplifts me, from what gives me direction, from what keeps me going, from what gives me ideas like think on paper, from the people who are striving to or who have already, and in my case, definitely who have already paved the way, because I was raised very disciplined and I am very structured, and I do take a lot of risk. I don't settle. I don't, and again, it may look like an oxymoron. Like, girl, you co-living right now. Girl, you was just in a shelter. Girl, you been all over the place. Well, for one, I'm a nomad. So there's that. And I'm creative. So there's that. And for me, this these are choices. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, you just all over the place. But what's nice for me is because I am the creative nomad, I need Gary V. I need E.T. Eric Thomas. I need Grant Cardone. I need Robert Kiyosaki. You know what I mean? Bob Proctor. I need fucking Will Smith, Denzel Washington. I need Les Brown. Do you see what I'm saying? The people that are already there, because I didn't have a motherfucker like me that could inspire me. So what I did was focused on learning me, focused on fucking controlling me. I focused on the P.A.I.D. And was when I found my core of happiness, which was in Arizona, you guys were right here with me. That is when I was like, it's time to go get my bag. It's time for me to design my fucking life. And you guys are going to watch me do it. That's when I first thought about the show. You guys know I was renting the room in Arizona. And it's just like, and then I up and moved here and it, lagged. And then we brought it back, Get Paid with Creative Nomad. And it has a purpose, it has a direction, it has a goal that really is broader than how it started in Arizona. It's that's the foundation. That's still the foundation, but I didn't have it outlined. And I love how the universe brought it to me, P.A.I.D, because that has always been my goal. My first goal, the first half of my life was to get paid, self-enriching. I remember um and it was around 86, 87, probably 87, because I think this is when it came out, but it was in the 80s. And Man in the Mirror. And I just remember the way this song impacted me, because you guys know that I'm clairvoyant and it came out when I was around 5. So things like that, I've always been super enlightened. Things have I'm very sensitive also. My clairvoyance, it's extremely sensitive. So growing up like that, shit, like I would, and I didn't give a fuck. Like I'm 12, 13 years old in the alley with my homies, with my crew wilding out. But this was my jam. And I was just thinking about it because everything's been about humanity for me. I don't see how that is pushed to the back burner. So I'm starting with the Man in the Mirror. The that was it for me. That song for me was fucking everything. I mean, besides my savior song, which is When Doves Cry, which I was younger, right, when I was brought to Minnesota. But Man in the Mirror, that's it right there. That is how we uh make change. That is how we get paid. That's how we get paid. And my first payment was, I wanted to find, and I remember saying this to myself as a teen and again in my 20s. Most of my life has been spent like in miserableness, but striving to find my own happy me, within this misery. If any of that makes sense. So self development for me has been mandatory. And my first payment was, God damn it, I want to be in this world full of misery and fucking be happy. I want to be happy broke before I get rich. And I'm dead ass. I remember saying this shit to myself. My focus has been the fact that I now, and have been for a long time, control me. That was all. I don't give a shit. I don't know if I told you guys or not, but my mother used to hate my nonchalance. Why are you so nonchalant? If it don't affect me, it don't affect me. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that it's not in a disrespect to humanity, not at all. But and I didn't really know what she meant, but I'd look at her so nonchalant, and that would piss her off. I looked at her like, mm. But when I had my son, who is a Cancer, who is very much like me, a Libra, then I understood because he's very nonchalant. If it doesn't affect his world, baby, don't trail with it. Do not concern him with it, and he don't concern himself with it. If it does not concern us, we're really not concerned. So when it comes to the thread and the whole of humanity, that concerns me. It affects me. It affects my world. So you see how they're separate? But like when it concerns, when it doesn't concern me, it doesn't concern me. So I just don't associate myself with bullshit that just doesn't matter. But the fact that I don't know, I've always had an open third eye is the fact that I've always known that this is where it starts. It's not about, now that's not to say that I didn't go through my teen years and my 20s of blaming my mom for this, but at the same time, again, I'm a Libra. I know that I'm a walking contradiction, and I've said this out loud for at least 20 years of my life. I know that I am a walking contradiction, but it does make sense because everything has two sides. Nothing is one dimensional. So is it really a contradiction, or am I just humanly human and I know it, right? So it's not to say that in my, again, teens and 20s, I didn't blame my mother. I did. And at the same time, I'd be like, make excuses for her. And I don't mean make excuses like in a negative way. Like in the Quran, it says we should make excuses for our brothers. We are supposed to, instead of, just blaming, make excuses, AKA give the benefit of the doubt. Create a benefit of the doubt for them. Oh, maybe this happened. Oh, maybe they're going through that. Oh, they did the best they could with what they had. Oh, they did the best they could with what they knew at the moment. Not over and over again when you know better, because you do better, right? But at least the very first, because they say first time, it's an accident. Shame on me. And what that means in this case is first time, shame on me for not giving my brother the benefit of the doubt. Shame on me for not giving my sister the benefit of the doubt. If it happens again, oh, okay. Shame on you for taking advantage. Shame on you because you knew what you were doing the first time. Shame on you. That is another spectrum of the fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because the first time, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? And it's actually two ways you can look at that. But again, when it comes to association, it really reflects back to yesterday in defining our purpose. I knew when I had the switch that I was put here to positively impact others. And I knew that I was going to go through some shit in my life, baby. I knew that. And I remember saying that when I was young. I remember each time something would happen, and y'all, I hope y'all don't think I'm bullshitting again. And I hope you know what it is to be clairvoyant. And I hope you really don't have a bad um, opinion or view of witches and clairvoyance and alchemists and different things like that. I really hope you understand the natural connection of things like that and how certain people have more sensitivity to it than others. I do believe all of us as humans have it. Some people have it a lot more than others. Some people are in tune to it a lot more. It comes out naturally, throughout life, or in my case, at a very, very early age. And I never commanded for it to go away. So it's only gotten sharper. So what I'm trying to say is, I think that all as well played a huge part. So at each point in my life, something traumatic, more so than the last traumatic thing would happen, I really would tap back into it happened for a reason. Um, and not just for a reason, but my purpose is to make it through this because I'm going to impact people in a way that they're going to go on and be able to do things with their life that they would not have been able to do had they not come cross paths with me. So I need to be able to get through this and come out smelling like a motherfucking rose and looking like a goddamn bird of paradise. That is my favorite flower, even if you think it ugly. Some people don't like the way I look, but whatever. Oh, wait, I love it. I love everything about it. Do you hear me? So I had to, and I knew that as a young girl, as a teenager. I knew that when I told Tony's motherfucking ass as a teenager, I'm not getting in that van fucking with you, because I knew that would bring my rep down immediately by associating with him in that way, by associating with uh the bitch Shirley up the block that was fucking out of both draw legs. And it's just like, we have to know who we are. Yesterday's episode, define your purpose and then move accordingly. Once you have defined your purpose, baby, if you need to cut off that sour puss that you've known for 8 years, because that sour puss, you notice when you around, you don't accomplish shit. And then the next day or the next 2 or 3 days, you have to work your ass off to get this sourpuss energy off of you so that you can get back on track. You're going to have to cut sourpuss off. You're going to have to disassociate yourself from sourpuss, because sourpuss will break you down. It's the same in human beings as it is in nature, fruits and vegetables, baby. One bad apple, potato, onion, strawberry, it spoils the whole fucking bunch. You have to nip it. You have to disassociate from any negative, low level energy. If you're not able to turn it around, if you're not able to, because you work on your shit, right? You work on getting paid. You work on this every day, all day, and leaving out your front door is going to make sure you work on it and implement it, right? Okay. So you work on getting paid. So you feel yourself getting stronger. You're more confident. You have more control over your emotions. You decide when you leave, it's gonna be a magnificent motherfucking day. And guess what? Because you decide and everybody say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fantastic. Oh, okay, hey. You have a fantastic day. You have a magnificent day, right? So you like, oh, okay, I noticed that. The power of suggestion, the power of setting my intentions, the power of defining my purpose, right? So now I'm living in it. I'm acting on it. So now, how many days you gonna waste trying to get back to this positivity from hanging around with sourpuss or having this 2 hour conversation on the phone with sourpuss? Like, you have to disassociate. You have to disassociate. And we're not kids, baby. It shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be difficult. We're not fucking kids. And we reverse it. When we're kids, it's easy to, oh, it don't feel right. Oh, you're not my friend anymore. Just that simple. Bitch, I ain't calling you no more. I'm not knocking on your door tomorrow. You come knocking on my door. Didn't I tell you we're not friends? You thought I was playing? No, I was dead ass. We're not friends. As kids, but then when we get older, as our voice starts to get, as we're told, oh, that's rude. Oh, is it really rude? Like, we're two human beings. Just cut to the fucking chase. Is it rude? Or are we just insensitively sensitive? You know what I mean? So disassociate from things and people and places and energy and beings and vibrations that do not benefit you, because it will tear you down. If you're, or what I was saying is, if you, because you've been working on get paid, you're able to respond to that negative energy, right, with something uplifting and positive, and to make them think on the other way. If you notice you're not able to turn that person around, baby, disassociate. Okay, you gave it your best. You thought that person was worth trying to save. Oh, that person can't be saved. It's time to cut off now. If, because you have been working on getting paid, you're able to respond in a good way, and again, because you care about this person, you're interested. Remember, we had that conversation. You're interested, right, to try and help. So you respond in a beautiful way. You think, oh, this is going to get the person to think, oh, this is going to give them a different perspective, oh, this is going to help, oh, this is what they need to hear. All of that may be correct. But if they are not ready and don't want to, It's all going to be null and void. And you're going to have to make the decision to disassociate, because this person will not disassociate from you. Like it'll either, it won't be a either. You will end up right there. You will end up half-assing your shit. So now shit's going down. Now you're dropping. Now you're losing opportunities. Whatever, whatever. You're day drinking now when you weren't before. You were saying no until after you. You know what I mean? All kind of shit in your life that were going well, that was positive, that was vibrating high, is now gone. That's what will happen. Association will build or fucking break you as a personal brand, and definitely as a business. And you have to know um, where they mix, how to separate the two, and really how much. You have to know how much uh, to expose yourself to, and how much to allow yourself to be exposed, both your business and your personal. It's just, it's vital. Like everything in getting paid, everything in the P.A.I.D series, it really is vital. And we see it in the whatever the percentage is, whether it's 90, 99, or 85, whatever the fucking percentage is of the majority, we see it in them. There's a huge lack of the paid structure, a huge lack of the paid structure. And we're on episode 33, and we're at A. So you can pick an episode, you can pick a portion of the P.A.I.D that you want to. But all of them that we've been discussing through episode 33, there's a lack of all of that in the majority. And that is why the majority all look the same. All look the same. Not making it at all. And you can't even say just barely making it, because the level of debt is so fucking unreal. You're not making it. You owe so many fucking people that the money you use to pay your rent, that's somebody else's money. You know what I'm saying? The money you buy them cigarettes with, that's somebody else's money. Like, you owe so many fucking people. You're not even in the positive yet. You're not even in the positive yet. So every dollar that passed through your hands, the fact that, some people, the majority, are even paying rent somewhere, whether it's co-living, a room, an apartment, a house, whatever. The fact that the majority are paying rent somewhere lets you know that there's a lack of P.A.I.D being implemented. Because at some point, the hand to mouth living, you know, would get people to want to understand their finances or financial literacy. But this is what we have to change. We have to change our, not only our associations, but the level of comfort at which we associate. We gotta level up for our own benefit. They used to call it the boob tube, but it affects you when you have a productive day, you get off, or on the weekends, whenever it is, and you watch these dumb ass shows, whether it's any one of the fucking, I've never watched any one of the Housewives. Pick a coast, any one of them. Mob Wives, any one of whatever that bullshit TV is. That is association. So you look at that and you listen to that, you have to know it has an effect on you. It has an effect on your facial response the next day, or with people around you, or the tone of your voice, or how you choose to your outlook on your interactions with people and different things like that. Yes. Yes. Girl, bye. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm co-living, y'all know that, and I pay my monthly fee, but you know what I'm saying. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Y'all know what I'm working toward. Hotel Honda is gone, and this is my Hotel Honda for now. But the goal is still the same, baby. The goal. There's no way I'd be like, yeah, I want one. Man, fuck these apartments. Fuck these houses. Give me my fucking land. Do you hear me? Give me my dirt. Give me my ground. Get the fuck out of here. You can take that shit. Give me my dirt. Give me my shit. And then I put on it what I want to put on it. How about that? How about that? You take your fucking rent and miss me. You know what I mean? Take your cookie cutter shit and go ahead on about your business, because we leveling up over here. We leveling up over here. We're getting paid. We're getting focused. Um, Goddamn me, we're getting selfish. We're getting fucking selfish, because why? Self preservation is the first law of nature. So that's self all the way around. That is, how about I just found out? One of my homegirls, model I used to work with in Minnesota, she lives here in California now. Um, and y'all check her out on Instagram, Shabrita Moss. She also went to fashion design school. Y'all know I went to fashion design school 15 years ago. She just went now. I think we have a lot of similar paths, but we met. I was working freelance as a makeup artist. She was a model. We were both on Model Make Him. I think she had contacted me, but we ended up getting together. And this was maybe 11 years ago now. So um, she posted on Facebook that, oh, guess I'll be, I was looking for a black owned restaurant. Guess I'll be going out to Compton from now on. Oh, good looking out. I love the post, shared it. Guess I will be too. Right on. I've Googled black owned restaurants, which there are many around here. A lot of them are on Grubhub. So, you see a lot of us are changing our associations because of our love of us, because of the fact that we are looking inward, and we are, recycling our everything because of the selfishness and the love that we have for ourselves. So we are being disciplined. We are checking our progress. We are leveling up, baby. We are checking our associations. So we're realizing that because our own efforts are changing in our lives, if I want to be successful, and I just so happen to be a beautiful black woman, and a business owner, baby, I need to support black businesses. I don't give a fuck that it's convenient. I don't know how to get to Compton, but baby, I'm sure buses go there, and I'm sure that grocery store is on a bus. If not, I'll see what I can do about motherfucking going by way of Amazon, or maybe I can put them on or contact them and see if they'll get on Grubhub. I don't know, one of these delivery services, baby. I'm still waiting on my shit from WeBuyBlack.com. I don't care. I am doing cognitively things to change my associations in business and my personal life, because I need the universe to open all of that up for me, because I am living in the skin that I'm in. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, you can get the same. None of us have gotten the same result from supporting white businesses, Mexican businesses. None of us, all these decades, have gotten the same result. So we have to change our association. We have to change how we move and who we associate with, and start making those excuses for one another. If I go there and I get a bad fucking customer service, baby, the same way they do when they murder motherfuckers. Oh, his dad left, this, that, and the third. They make a bunch of excuses for him, and I ain't mad at them. Do them. You know what I mean? We the ones that gave y'all peace before y'all gave us justice. We gonna rectify that right now. Don't you worry about that. But going forward, for our own lives, for ourselves, we pay that shit forward. And we know that, you know what? It's a lot of black women starting businesses. It's a lot of fucking entrepreneurs, black men and women out here. We have to go out of our way to support one another. I'm looking at you. And on, let me tell y'all, I don't know if y'all are on my other social media sites, which are in the link, and y'all should be. But here's my suggestion for July 4th. I will actually post it in I'll put a post. So you guys come back for that. Be on the lookout for the post. My suggestion is for all Black Americans that are a part of this revolution that's happening, right? Because there's some, Uncle Ruckuses and Aunt Sally's who aren't a part of it, who are, a part of the Trump side. So those who are a part of the revolution and humanity, my suggestion, and allies, the anti-racist allies, because it's a different, they see the inhumanity in the injustice that's being done. So for people of color allies, anti-racist allies, the white anti-racist allies, as well as blacks, my suggestion is on July 4th, and it can also be July 3rd and 4th, either one day or 2 days, the one day being July 4th, or the 2 days being July 3rd and 4th, that we deliberately, strictly, only buy and shop at black owned businesses that day or those 2 days. And I mean, as a whole, to really make an impact. I want the shit to hit the news. I want the shit to be like reported that there was a huge spike in numbers over here and a huge drop in numbers over here. I would love if you guys would take that and do that, spread the word. I think like we gotta start fucking acting. And I think that is a great idea. And to my people of color allies, to my Mexicans and Asians and all other non people of color who typically you guys have businesses, and I said those two because I know a lot of Asians and Mexicans have businesses and a lot are in black communities. My suggestion, more so request, it's not even a fucking suggestion, this is a request, a strong suggestion that this is what we do this Independence Day, that you guys at least once that day you support a black owned business, and then only support your own businesses or other businesses of color. That is, I think we need to do that July 3rd and 4th, or at the very least July 4th. My phone bill is due on July 3rd. I paid that bitch today because no white owned or European company is getting my money on that day. Period. Period. Now, on a regular day, now because, yeah, I'm trying to change my association and make my world as black owned purchased as I can. Yeah, on a day-to-day basis, although I've restricted myself a lot, which is good for my finances and my budget and my discipline, I still may purchase a non-black owned something, but I am more specific about it being a minority owned. Um, if I can't help it, I'll go to a chain which may be white owned, or I'll go to a franchise where likely the owner is a minority owned. And I say likely depending on who works there. That's a lot of how you can tell when it comes to certain chains. Now, I'm also cognizant to not, although I'm not a fast food eater, there are a lot of big chains that actually contribute to Trump financially into his campaign. So it would behoove you to find out what though. I know some are McDonald's, TikTok also. Those young people are very good at finding out all of that. But you can find all that out apparently. McDonald's, Jack in the Box, like they come with the whole council information quick, quick, quick. But companies that financially fund the Trump campaign, no, cut that shit out. But that is my suggestion. So on the third and the fourth, or the very least the fourth, we shop black owned specifically. If you want to buy something, if you can wait and you know what is black owned, um, I say purchase it specifically on that day, specifically on July 4th. I just feel like we need to send a huge financial message to the United States from us blacks and people of color and fucking allies of all colors. That's what I suggest. That message, that association, I can just feel it. This is what the fucking world needs to see. This is what the US needs to see. And the message we're sending is our power. That's why in the post, if anyone that watches this, if you're on my Facebook or my Instagram, because I posted the same thing on both, um, we, the people, have to take our power back. The power of our dollar, the power of our local vote, right? The power of our vote, our local vote, our dollar, our decision, and our fucking associations. We need to take our power back, our power to demand, create, and affect change within our lives, each other's lives, the lives of the world. Do you see how the world has been impacted by black um, injustice and the brutality done on black people? Thanks to the president and the quarantine making everyone bored in the house because they're in the house bored, so they was on their phone, so they saw it, and their finances have been affected, their businesses have been affected, so everybody's sensitive right now, and everyone now that have any type of morality or humanity are just getting a glimpse of what our lives have been like. The true allies, the true anti-racist allies, baby, because oh, I see them. Oh, I've seen some allies, baby, that's when this started, they look all fresh faced that now look frazzled. I've seen dark circles get deeper. Baby, this is our life and you're just now fighting for you because they're seeing all of the undercover little racism. They're seeing all the shit. You know what I'm saying? So, baby, they tired, but because they are humane and they're in it for the fucking injustice and the inhumanity, they can't give up. They can't stop. They cannot disassociate themselves from what they've seen now. We have to continue that. We, as a humane people, have to continue that. July 3rd and 4th, if nothing else, July 4th, support Black owned businesses only. Only. If you are a minority, person of color, ally, support at least one Black owned business that day, and then only support your own minority or just minority only shops, period. Create that your life. Even our white ally businesses, don't support them on that day. They're not going to go out of business for one day. If you decide to do it for 2 days, then only not support them on the 4th. But say you want to support your only your white ally businesses on July 3rd, that can be the day that you support the white ally businesses, and even talk to them and let them know that this is what you're doing. Hey, tomorrow, how about you only support a Black owned business? How about you deliberately go to a Black owned restaurant tomorrow, or to a Black owned Dollar Tree, or to that Black grocery store in Compton? How about you deliberately help us in this effort since you are an ally? And that's why I'm here today, specifically supporting your store, because otherwise I hadn't planned on shopping today. But this is my show to say, hey, take this opportunity to stand with me, to stand. We ain't kneeling on George and all the rest of them to stand with me against fucking humanity financially, and to fucking show that this country, that we have the fucking power. We have the power. All of us of all fucking humane colors with the same blood that they shedding out there. You can't pick up unless you test that blood. You don't know if the owner of that blood was black or white. When a police shoved that old white man down and his head did start bleeding, once they move him, you don't know whose blood that was. If you didn't see the video, if you wasn't out there and you just saw the blood, you wouldn't know. So this is what I say we do, and I hope you guys do it. I hope you spread the fucking word in your around where you are to people you know. I think we need to do this. And if you got people, friends, family out of state, call every fucking body you know and let them know that this is really what we should do. This is what we're trying to do. If you are on my other social media pages and you've seen that, can you share it? I have had a couple of people share it on my Facebook. Can you share it if you see that? This is a great idea, I think. Not because it's my idea, but I've taken part in other ideas of blackouts and different things that come along, because I agree with it and I believe in it. I don't do the blackout on the blackout days. Fuck no. I said they're already trying to get the blackouts, the blacks out. If the allies want to turn their thing all black, okay. But I do like the allies that choose to share black information, black facts, uplifting black facts on those blackout days. I do like that. During the whiteout on TikTok, when everybody, including the white and allies of color, when everybody was sharing black creators, black. Yeah, it definitely was not a whiteout. It definitely was not a whiteout. But the thing about it is, it doesn't stop anything from going around. Least of all with TikTok, because the way TikTok is set up, your For You page is customized for you. And that's why it's called a For You page. It doesn't represent what is happening on the platform. Okay. It represents what's happening in your world on this platform. But because it was happening, it did make CNN. Shit like that does make Twitter and Black Twitter and, make headlines. So I want us to make headlines this United States Independence Day, baby, to show them we have the fucking power as a human citizen rights in this fucking country. Whether you was first generation born, whether you were immigrant in this country, whether you motherfucking 4 and 5 generations born, if you're against the inhumanity, the injustice done and have always been done to Black people and people of color in this country, this is what we're doing July 3rd and 4th. I appreciate if you guys spread the word, tell everyone you can, tell everyone you know. Exactly. We have to support. We have to support one another and support minority businesses. And I think we should do that. And Candace, actually, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I get off here, which I'm about to end right now, I'm going to send you a message. And this is also, I think, is a great idea. Actually, let me just share it here before I get off, because I do want this in another video. I don't know if I've shared it on my YouTube, but so a couple of weeks ago, one of my girlfriends from Minnesota called me, and that may not be correct, but I'm just going to go with it because I am going to end this now. So I was told a story. I'll say it like this. I was told a story from someone who said they asked either an Asian or a Mexican, I don't remember which group, but asked a woman how they always build their business, how they all have businesses, how they all have food trucks, how they all have, their business. And what was said was they decide that They create a pot, and at the end of whatever the time is, like they all contribute to this pot, they all donate in that pot. At the end of whatever the time frame is, you choose it, 6 months, 12 months. At the end of the time frame, they have a drawing. Whoever is in that drawing, from the people who contributed, of course, right? Did I need to say that? They have a drawing. Whoever's name they pull is the person who gets the money. From that money, they open a business. From there, they employ one another. They all work to get their business up and running and profitable. At the same time, they start the pot over again. The next year, they go a name. Of course, this person's name doesn't go back in the pot. They already have their business. They all helped, pitched in. It's established. So 12 months later, they're doing better, right? And now the next person's name gets pulled. Now they have their, and it all starts from the unity, the working together. And this wasn't some fairy tale. This was something that while I was living in this house, I want to say, like I said, it was my homegirl Sakara. But this is what is being done. This is what's being implemented. And I don't see why we can't do the same. I don't see why we can't do the same. That's just it. So, um, and I wish I even had somebody or two or three bodies to even do that with, to decide, you know what, I know we all have our, but you know what, maybe this will help us get, or you know what, let's help one another. Okay, you need a team you can't afford. How can I help you? I need this actually, and you're great at that. Can you help me do that? This is all, and it's all free. We all helping because we're seeing what you're doing. So let me help you get profitable, and let me help you get profitable. Let me offer myself to help you get profitable. Let me offer myself to help you get profitable. This is how it's done. This is simple humanity. This is unity. This is self love. This is self worth. Like Malcolm X said, when you start to have love for yourself, when you start to see yourself as a black man, a black woman, you'll start to see your brother as a black man, a black woman. You'll start to think like other races independently for yourself as a black man, a black woman. And these things won't be foreign to us. It'll be like second nature. It'll be like, why isn't everyone doing this, or why? And when I say everyone, I mean, certain of us. I don't mean, because every other cultures are doing this. You can, even in St. Louis, there's Little Italy. There's a whole area where, and when you're there, because you see the Italian flags. You see the Italian flags hanging from the street poles in every square inch of Little Italy. Little Italy. There's Little Poland. You see the Polish flags. You see, and it's all, everything. There are convenience stores, there are restaurants, there are supermarkets, there are banks. Everything is in this circle, and this is where they live. And that is how unity, helping one another, offering themselves to help, because I know you can't afford an employee. You look here, my boy is 14. My daughter's, sending them over there to help work for them, because you are me. I am you. Of course, I want you to succeed. You look like me. Of course, I want you to win. You look like me. Of course, I'm going to help you win. You look like me, which means you could easily be my sister. You could easily be my cousin. You could easily be my brother. You could easily be my mom and dad. You could easily be my son or daughter. You look fucking just like me. So why would I not help you? Why would I not offer myself to help you? Why would I not do this? Why would I not? If you need somebody to, I'm gonna give an example of something I need. If I need someone to put together my images and copy paste all the, the what is it called, the thumbnail that you guys see, because like I told y'all, I go through 3 different apps, and now I've saved myself one step, which is why y'all see I'm using the same ones in rotation, because I put them together, I've saved them out, and then every so often I'll go and change them all, which means I'll start taking pictures, after certain days, if I feel like, oh, this will be a good picture. But to have someone else do that, because I could be doing something else, that would be a huge fucking help. You know what I mean? To have someone outline, to have someone, you know what I'm saying? That would be huge. Do you know how much more I could get done in exchange? What can I do for you? In exchange, oh, let's put in this money in the pot. What do you need? Okay, everyone who's trying to do something, put this in. This is what is our end goal. What are we going to do with this money in the end? Are we just going to open something all together, or are we going to do, I think that's very smart, dish it out each people. You open that business, you have a clothing boutique here, or whatever it is here. You have a medical billing over here. You have fucking what are they called, camper resort, whatever, everything, anything we need. Someone decide what they want, we figure out, okay, this is how much it's going to cost to us, so that is the goal. If we need 50,000, that is the goal. How many of us do we have? Okay, divide that. What can we um uncomfortably afford? And I do mean that. What can we uncomfortably afford? Because in the long run, the goal is to be comfortable. So sacrifice that little bit of discomfort now. Sacrifice now. Okay, I may have to, fucking eat jasmine rice and black beans. You know what I'm saying? I say that instead of ramen noodles, because that shit is so fucking unhealthy. We can afford more than a quarter now. Come on now. You can go to motherfucking Dollar Tree and get $1 and get goddamn black eyed peas. I mean, come on, black beans. Come on, even jasmine rice. Come on, like, but you still get what I'm saying. You might have to take $2 and make it do what it do, and eat for the week. Whatever the case may be. But in the long run, if we make this the goal and we say, 12 months is the goal, this is, we want to, and we have it broken down, that's just it. And that is association. It takes the right minds moving in the right direction to get that kind of fucking unity. You know what I'm saying? It takes the right people willing to sacrifice and make the right kind of risk to build that kind of shit, to create that kind of unity. But that is why the Jews have businesses and got some kind of financial payoff from the Holocaust. No, it doesn't uh, excuse it. It doesn't, none of that shit. That is why I don't give a damn how some ignorant folks try to say they don't even have, but you know what? The Native Americans, they do have some land. They have reservations. They have their own privacy, as far as you can go on when you're on native land, when you're on the res, when you're on reservation land. Oh, there's no jurisdiction. No jurisdiction. Yeah, they went back on their peace treaty. Yeah, all that. Yeah, you can talk about all that negative bullshit. But the fact of the matter is, they do own land in their country. No, they don't have a right to all of it. Yeah, we understand that, but why focus on the negative? Here's the plus. The plus is they still have their language. They still understand their tribe. They still have, you see what I'm saying? Because at least they held on to their pride and their dignity as a people, and they kept the fact that they knew association was everything, so they couldn't disassociate themselves from their heritage. They could not disassociate and would not, no matter how motherfucking much you killed them or whatever. And they also, like, what do we hear about then? We hear about the scalping and, the killing of the white man and everything they tell us. And we know that we did our fair share of fighting back and killing their asses too. But that's not what's highlighted, is it? Is it? But when they talk about cowboys and Indians, yeah, they talk about it killing, but we hear a good story of battle. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, in my opinion, do, and not even just opinion. To me, this is really a matter of fact when it comes to humanity. So we really have to disassociate ourselves from every fucking thing that doesn't benefit us. And um I know I kind of got off track and I was ending it. I do apologize. I don't want to keep you guys all night. It's been almost 2 hours. So we're just going to say goodnight. I hope I finished all my thoughts. Um and I believe I did, because I was really just talking about how I feel like we can, even on the smallest low level, even if it's just somebody um, how we can really start to build unity and create that bond and that trust, and to uh, give one another the benefit of the doubt when we start making our lives Black owned. Don't just fucking shut them down and give up on them because of bad customer service or whatever, because we've been dealing with bad customer service from non-blacks all of our motherfucking life. We've been dealing with bitches talking to us crazy, chewing in our motherfucking face, what you want. And I'm not even talking about those that look like us, okay? Um, so we have to get better. We have to make sure we are um, having the right associations around us and associating ourselves properly and presenting ourselves in the correct way. All right, you guys, I hope you took something away from this long episode. I really did enjoy it. I needed it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Mwah. Peace.